Hi, guys. These are just some notes for what to do for the week of the 3rd through the 7th. Okay, you got to read Invocation. There's a couple of assignments that are in Google Classroom, and I've also included the text. So if you see this, you have the Invocation. This is the first part of the story. This is the assignment. Then you also have to read these two stories and do a Google Forms with that. So let's just get started super quick. For the first book, okay, don't forget 300 pages by January 10th. I promise to post the assignment. Map testing, we need to do that. Please email me a good time and I'll make sure you're able to do that remotely. Elements of an epic, you need to know that. Okay, in Invocation, just to kind of go over what I'm looking for, this is Homer's first introduction to the story, and he tells us who it's about, what's going to happen at the end, and he gives us some talking points. So, what you're supposed to do is read it and then summarize it. Like, for instance, sing in me muse, and through me tell the story of that man skilled in all ways contending. The wanderer harried for years on end after he plundered the strongholds of Troy. Basically, help me tell the story of Odysseus. Next stanza, this is a little bit more, and you guys can kind of go through it in depth, but I want to help you out. He saw townslands and distant men, and all he wanted to do was save his life and bring his shipmates home, but not by will nor valor, for their recklessness destroyed them all. Children and fools, they feasted on the sun god's cattle, and he who moves all days through heaven took from their eyes the dawn of their return. Basically, he's the only one to come home. Why? Because the men were reckless, aka stupid, and feasted on the sun god's cattle. So we know he's the only one that's going to make it home. From there, you can kind of go through and do the very same thing. Okay, the wandering. This is where we meet Odysseus. He is right here. So if you look at this, this is in medias res. 14, he's almost home. So we find Odysseus at his most vulnerable part. This one, we find out some other thing. How long has he been there? I'll give you a spoiler. 7 out of the 10 years has spent as a not so unwilling captive of Calypso's island. Who helps him out? Who is his guardian angel? Who's sent down? What does Odysseus look like? Is he the stud of the Trojan War, or is he a broken down man? What is Calypso's reaction to letting him go? At the very end, she says, "After all these years with me, you still desire home." Pay attention to Odysseus's reaction to that. I am Laertes' son. From this point, this is 15 on the map. He is telling his story to King Alcinous's court from the beginning. This is like what happened in Troy. The Cicones is a story that you're responsible for. Remember that they were victorious in Troy, so they had certain rights, and they kind of overstepped their bounds and lost a lot of men. How did they do that? The Lotus Eaters. What is the Lotus? How did the Lotus Eaters treat Odysseus and his men? What would happen if anyone ate the lotus flower? What did Odysseus do to the men that were scouting the island, and why? Very important. This is a dangerous part because we would end this story with the Lotus Eaters. So just pay attention to that. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. Remember, they're all due on Friday.